It seems like we say it every offseason, but this offseason was truly the craziest the transfer portal has ever been. It seemed like every day there were new players coming and going. Your favorite team likely lost a couple of really good pieces, and your favorite team also likely gained some really good pieces as well. Starting today, leading up to the college football season, I'm going to be releasing weekly videos talking about 10 players who transferred to new programs that are going to make a huge impact at their new school. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. I'm posting college football videos all off season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. Did your school land a really solid player in the transfer portal this offseason that should be included in these lists? Drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to include them in my next video. A quarterback transfer that I felt flew very under the radar was former NC State quarterback Devin Leary transferring to Kentucky. Entering last season, I had Leary as a Heisman dark horse and thought he could lead NC State to potential playoff berth. Well, that didn't happen as Leary got hurt and appeared in only 6 games. The last time we saw him fully healthy in a season was 2021 when he emerged as one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. 2 seasons ago, Leary completed 66% of his passes for 3,400 yards. He threw 35 passing touchdowns with only 5 interceptions. He threw for at least 300 yards in 6 games and had 5 games with at least 4 passing touchdowns. He transfers to a Kentucky offense that might be better than the one he had at NC State back in 2021. I don't want to say he'll be a Heisman dark horse once again because I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's safe to say that Devin Leary will have a really good season with the Wildcats. Florida State made a late addition via the portal as they added former Michigan State wide receiver Keon Coleman last week. Overall, Coleman ranked as the 23rd best player to enter the transfer portal this spring, according to 24/7 Sports. He drew strong interest from the transfer portal as soon as he entered, but ultimately, Florida State landed him. Coleman ranked as the number 4 wide receiver in the transfer portal rankings. He's a former 4-star prospect that really emerged last season for the Spartans. He caught 58 passes for 800 yards and 8 touchdowns in his first full season of action. He was the Spartans' best receiver and was honestly one of the more slept-on wide receivers in the entire Big Ten. Now he joins a really solid receiving room at Florida State where he's going to get a massive quarterback upgrade in Jordan Travis. The Bruins added a really good running back in former Ball State running back Carson Steele. Steele ranked number 8 in the country in rushing yards in 2022. He also led the MAC in the category as well. Steele was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. As a true freshman, he rushed for 900 yards with 6 touchdowns. He also added 150 yards through the air with the receiving touchdown. Then in 2022, Steele rushed for over 1,500 yards with 14 rushing touchdowns. He also caught 29 passes for over 160 yards. He finished the season with 1,800 total yards of offense and 15 touchdowns, winning all MAC first team honors. He put up 100+ rushing yards in 9 of his final 11 games. USC made a number of solid pickups this offseason, but a very underrated one was former Florida offensive tackle Michael Tarquin. He started the season as Florida's first-string right tackle and ended up playing that role for 7 of his first 8 appearances on the year, but an injury forced him to sit out the final 4 games of the season. Pro Football Focus gave him a pass blocking grade of 76.4, with his strongest performance coming against Texas A&M. For the season, he committed just 4 penalties and allowed only 6 hurries on the quarterback while not allowing a single sack. Arkansas added a former 5-star recruit in former Georgia defensive back Jaheim Singletary. Singletary rated as a 5-star recruit and the number 27 overall player in the nation in the class of 2022. As expected, finding playing time at Georgia was pretty difficult, regardless of his high status. He ended up redshirting his first year on campus and played just 13 snaps in 3 games. Singletary immediately becomes the face of a transfer-heavy recruiting class and should compete for snaps at either cornerback or nickelback. I've talked about Washington this offseason and how I think they'll have a really good offense in 2023. With Michael Penix Jr. back at the helm and one of the top wide receiver rooms in the nation, their running backs have been overlooked. They picked up a solid one in the portal in former Mississippi State running back Dylan Johnson. In 2020, he appeared in 11 games as a true true freshman. He finished the season with only 200 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns, but caught 36 passes for 150 yards. In 2021, he started 7 games and finished the year with 500 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 65 receptions for over 400 yards. Then, in 2022, he totaled 500 yards on the ground with 3 rushing scores while catching 48 passes for 300 yards. He's a threat on the ground and in the passing game and is just another weapon for Michael Penix Jr. Up next is J.Q. Hardaway, who transferred from Kentucky to Cincinnati. A 4-star recruit in the class of 2022, Hardaway chose Cincinnati despite having multiple SEC offers. He played only 95 defensive snaps for the Bearcats this past season, recording 7 tackles with 2 tackles for loss. He announced he was entering the transfer portal the day Wisconsin introduced Luke Fickell as their brand new head coach. Iowa picked up a formerly touted wide receiver in Ohio State wide receiver Caleb Brown. He entered the transfer portal and visited Iowa City just 2 days later. The former Buckeye appeared in only 4 games and only saw 27 offensive snaps during his first season at Ohio State. He registered only 1 reception for 5 yards. Coming out of high school, Brown was a 4-star recruit. He was ranked as the number 2 player in Illinois and the number 13 overall wide receiver in the nation. He was low in the depth chart at Ohio State, but at Iowa, there's a strong chance he could be their new number 1 weapon on offense. Miami lost some key pieces on defense, but they added former UCF cornerback Devante Brown. He spent 3 seasons at UCF. He served as a full-time starter for the final 2 years and started 31 games. In 2022, he finished the season with 30 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, and 2 interceptions. He also had 4 pass breakups and a forced fumble. During his freshman campaign in 2021, he earned 3rd-team All-American Conference honors from Pro Football Focus while leading the team and ranking 3rd in the conference with 13 pass breakups. He also added 28 tackles, a sack, and an interception. We'll wrap up today's video with Nebraska's new quarterback, Jeff Sims. After a long run with Adrian Martinez, the Huskers had Casey Thompson under center last year. This season will be their 3rd starting quarterback in 3 years. Sims comes over from Georgia Tech, where he had a pretty successful career. During his 3 seasons with the Yellow Jackets, he appeared in a total of 25 games. Sims threw for 4,400 yards with 30 passing touchdowns while rushing for over 1,100 yards with 11 rushing scores. Since the start of the 2020 season, there have been only 13 FBS quarterbacks who have thrown for 4,400 yards with 30 passing touchdowns while also adding 1,100 yards on the ground. Sims is one of those quarterbacks on that list, joining names like Jordan Travis, Hendon Hooker, Jaden Daniels, KJ Jefferson, and Max Duggan. Did your school land a really solid player in the transfer portal this offseason that should be included in these lists? Well, drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to include them in my next video. Before you leave, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all off season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.